and welcome. Hope everyone is having a good afternoon, a better English afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. I am Andy from Career Map TV. I'll be your host for today. Today our webinar is with TEDI-London, where they'll be going through their engineering opportunities, what it's like to work there, and we'll answer some questions at the very end, of course. So if you do have any questions, leave them in the chat and the Q&A box off to the right. And remember, if you do miss anything, don't worry, because it is recorded and you'll be able to watch it in our YouTube and our on-demand website within the coming days. So without further ado, I'll pass on to the TEDI-London team to commence with their session.
Thanks very much, Andy. Welcome, everyone. I'm Claire Selby from the TEDI-London student recruitment team. I'm joined by some students and some staff from the Institute, and we're going to tell you all about engineering and how it's a subject that all can study, not just people from a science and maths background. So that's the premise of our webinar today. So we'll do some introductions first. So Anoksha, could you tell us about yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm the student recruitment officer at TEDI-London, that's it. I'll hand over to our student ambassadors. We are joined by Z and Ted, and if you two would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ted. I'm in my first year here at TEDI-London. I'm doing the master's course, and previously I studied maths, physics and history at A-level.
Well, that's lovely. And then
hi, I'm Z. I'm a second year student here at TEDI-London. I'm in international school and I'm also doing the master's course. Yeah, that's about it.
Brilliant, lovely. Our students will be joining us later to tell us about some of their projects that they have been up to in their first and second years. So you'll get to see them later. Do pop some questions in the chat for them as well. They're more than happy to answer questions. So just a little bit of background about what we do. So we are a higher education provider and we are for future engineers. So we're very forward thinking, innovative in not only the way we teach, but the way we view engineering and what impact we can have on the world. We're always thinking, hopefully 10 steps ahead and thinking of the global impact that we can have with our engineering skills. Not only are we forward thinking in that respect, but we are also forward thinking in the way we think of admissions. So we want to encourage all applicants from different backgrounds, not only from physics backgrounds, maths backgrounds, but we also want to encourage people who are creative, from artsy background, from humanities backgrounds. It's all about being inclusive and getting lots of different perspectives on engineering and what we can do with engineering. The other thing is our teaching techniques. So we teach in a very project-based way, and that's part of the focus today and what our students will talk you through. Our founding partners. So our founding partners basically created TEDI as a way of addressing a big global shortage in practical, well-skilled engineers who could go straight onto a project. So Arizona State University, they're one of our partners who they're very, very big in the United States for innovation. They constantly come up top in league tables and they provide us a lot of best practice information and just guidance and support, really. King's College London, you'll have all have heard of, hopefully. These are one of our closest partners because they actually do a lot for our students very specifically. So our students who go to TEDI-London, they also get access to the King's College London Student Union. So they get to have associate membership there. So you can go use their societies, you can go to their clubs, you can go to their sports facilities, things like that. So a really, really good partner for TEDI-London. And again, very, very high up in the world university rankings at number 37. UNSW in Sydney is really close to our heart because our current dean Judy, she is from UNSW in Sydney originally, and again, they are really, really high up in the world rankings at number 45. They give us a lot of curriculum support, best practice, and just general, just general scope to do work out in Sydney, as well as Arizona. Why engineering? So, touched on this very briefly. A lot of it is to do with innovation and creativity. It's a really, really good platform to come up with ideas. If you're the kind of person who likes to daydream about certain scenarios, what you would do if you had to come up with a solution to something, that's probably the kind of blue sky thinking job that you would like to do. There's a chance to make a real impact on people's lives. So engineering can help lots of different things. It can help poverty, it can help the environment, it can help the economic impact on a whole country. It's a massive, wide scope of impact that you can have. We had a student who actually went into some special needs schools where they worked very much one-on-one with one of the students there who had a disability and needed to use a wheelchair. Even some small modifications that one of our student engineers made to their chair had a huge impact on that person. So not only could it be a global impact, but it could be a really, really personal impact on one person as well. It's a really good feel-good option there. Lots of new career options. So the kinds of jobs that we talk about today will either be very, very different in the future, or they may not even exist in the future. So engineering is very, very, very fast moving. So some of the career options that you see today, they will either be changed or there will be vast amounts of new ones going forward. One of the other lovely things about being an engineer is that you can travel worldwide. Engineering is everywhere. It's when you leave the house, it's the engineering of your transport, it's the engineering of the buildings, it's everything. So that's really important. Being a future engineer, we want people who are able to come up with real world solutions. We want people to be creative. We want people to see lots of different facets and be multidimensional. We work in future jobs. That's one of our key goals at TEDI-London. And we like you to develop the business skills that go with that project kind of focused engineering. And we want you to use technology for your development. So that's what we want you to be. We want you to be a very, very highly skilled engineer, but also able to go straight into the world of work when you've graduated and go into those jobs that may not yet have been created. So the course at TEDI-London, we deliver one course at the moment, and that is Global Design Engineering. And we have a 3-year BEng and a 4-year MEng. These are degrees awarded by us. We have our own new degree awarding powers. And you would be based in Canada Water, which is in London. And it's around 2 stops away from central London, away from London Bridge. So nice and central. As I say, you can go to Kings's Student Union, so that's about 20 minutes away, but all of your classes would be in Canada Water. We have September intakes and we have January intakes with UK fees at £9,000 per year and international fees at £24,500. We do have lots of scholarships and bursaries, so we don't want fees to be a barrier. And they're all present on our website for you to check out. To go into kind of more detail about the course itself, it's structured over 3 years for the BEng and 4 years for the MEng. The first year is very much an introductory year, so you learn the skills to be an engineer, so reverse engineering, prototyping, programming, modelling and simulation, lots of different things like that. Second year is very, very much applied. So you go out and you create your own solutions to real world problems. So things like the Living Lab, which was the example I gave about the disability chair, actually looking at the way you can impact people's lives, looking at ways you can think ecologically as well. So looking at the environment around you and how that can inform engineering. In those first 2 years, you start your portfolio, but it really, really ramps up in year 3 when you get your individual project to do, which is a massive 60 credit project, hands-on and kind of led by you. So you take what you've learned from years 1 and 2, what you've really liked from that, and you try to do your own individual project. You can either do that in Arizona State Uni, or you can go out to UNSW in Sydney to do that for a teaching block, or you can stay in the UK and choose an industry partner within the UK. Similar for year 4 if you decide to stay on for the full MEng. As mentioned, we look at things that are you as a good engineer, and looking at how you can work towards the sustainable development goals. It's project-based. It's all kind of linked with industry or community partners. The campus has very, very modern facilities. It's virtually brand new. It's been around for 2 years now. And we're very, very much part of the community. We work within the wider area of Canada Water, but also with organisations that are global and national. You are very, very much treated like professionals in training when you are at TEDI-London. You are students, obviously, but we want you to leave with a whole set of skills that is just perfectly timed for you leaving to go straight into work. And yeah. Project-based learning. So project-based learning for us is very much working in groups, and you are assessed through presentations, reports, the things that you create, your prototypes, things like that. Most projects are with an industry partner, and we can talk through that a little bit later. We want you to not only get the engineering skills and the practical skills, but we want you to get the employability skills as well. So how to pitch, how to price, how to network, how to communicate, work as a team, collaborate, all those really, really good things. One of my favourite projects that the students have done, which Andy has a video of, I think you could show that now. We worked with a company called Shark Ninja, who you might have heard of before. They do things like vacuums and foodies and things like that. And yeah, we made our own sustainable robot vacuums, which is really exciting. So yeah, really exciting projects that the students have been up to there. To talk us through a year 1 project, we have Z, I believe, who's going to talk us through this one, or Ted. It's Ted.
Sorry,
fantastic.
Yeah,
lovely.
So,
yeah, do you want to chat through this and tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah, so this is my first project. So I've only been here at TEDI-London for this first term. So in this first project, we were working on a challenge set by Engineers Without Borders, and their challenge was to look at a remote village in Cambodia and figure out what sort of problems and challenges they face and create a solution for that. And so to sort of talk through how that progressed in my group, we first looked at what the actual problem would be, what we would like to solve, and I guess, figure out. So we identified the challenge area, and then from that we underwent several stages of research, planning and designing to create a solution. And so eventually we came up after that with the solution you can see on the left hand side of your screen, and it's a solar pasteurizer designed by my friend in CAD. And so that will basically solve their problem, which was a lack of water. So they'd be able to put dirty water in there and it would clean it. And then you can see on the right hand side as well the our final poster presentation that highlights our findings. And so that was our final product, and we went through that as a group over several weeks, looking at different possibilities as to how we could find a solution, and eventually we came to that. And so there were several stages of looking at design ideas, and eventually we came to that final one. And so that's just my first project, and I've really enjoyed it, working in a group. We've worked well, worked consistently, and yeah, I hope the next projects are very similar and enjoyable. Thank you.
Well, Z, would you like to talk about yours?
Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so in my first project in year 2, I made a modular electrochromic sunglasses. This is for the module name of user-centered design, where we are meant to create a wearable technology to enhance a sort of user experience in using any sort of product. And so this was a collaboration with some of the King College Biomed students, mainly focusing on certain sensors that we may or may not use in our project. I decided to go with my sort of Glass X modular electronic sunglasses, ideally owned by Tesla, if this was sold to Tesla. And it's basically a design where a click of a button, it would change the tint from a clear lens like this to the darkened version shown in the renders that you see in the slide. I have here actually the actual model that I've made physically. And basically, one of the other parts of it being modular is the fact that this branch here, you can pop it out and you can change the design to another one. And yeah, that's basically the part of my design that I've done for this term, and really enjoyed it. It was fun trying to make the actual physical model, as well as diving deep into SolidWorks, trying to make it sort of render it and make it visualize and look like the actual product, like what you see on the slide. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that, Z. So moving on, I would like to talk about the more important bits, so the entry requirements. So like Claire has mentioned before, we want to be as inclusive and promote diversity as we can, and we want students from all backgrounds to come and study at TEDI-London and be future engineers, which is why we don't require you to have math or physics, but we do require you to have the right attitude, aptitude, and ability. So essentially, if you're studying A levels, to make it to just let you know about the entry requirements, it's 120 UCAS points. So to put that in layman's terms, that would be a BB or a BBC. We do accept BTech and T levels as well. And if you're studying either of those qualifications, we do encourage you to get in touch with us so that we can put you in touch with our admissions team and they can guide you better through the application process as well. For those of you who are studying math at the A level, we require you to get a minimum of C during your exams. But having said that, if you don't meet that minimum requirement, or if you don't have math, we do have a math refresher course, which you're required to take during your application process. I will be talking more about that in the next slide. For international students as well, we have a web page where we have a list of all the qualifications that we do accept based on which country you're studying in. We encourage you to have a look at that. Again, if it is something that, if you feel like a country is missing, or any of the qualifications that you're studying are not listed on there, you can get in touch with our admissions team and they will be able to guide you better. Just as a whole though, we do require you to have a UKVI academic IELTS of score of 6.0 and a 6.0 in writing as well, with no less than 5.5 in any other parts. That's just a basic entry requirement. That was pretty much it for entry requirements. If you do have any further questions, do pop it up in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer that later. Talking about the math refresher course, so it's a 12-hour online course. It's divided into 4 parts. What you will be studying is very much relevant to the program that we do offer at TEDI. Towards the end of it, you book in a test, which is a 1-hour online test. It's an open book test as well, so it's pretty straightforward. Nothing very complex. We don't want you to be put off by it. So if you do have any questions about the math refresher course, there is a list of things listed on our website as well, and we can put you in touch with our admissions team as well. Just to add on to that, we do have a math tutor on campus while you're studying with us to give you that additional support as well. So yeah, that was for the math refresher. Moving on. Industry links. So like Claire mentioned, project-based learning is at the very heart of TEDI-London. And as Ted has mentioned previously as well, he has collaborated with Engineers Without Borders in the past, and we do have a bunch of other industry partners that we collaborate with for other modules as well. Most of the modules do require some sort of input from these partners, or they have input on designing the curriculum for the modules as well. For example, in the past, we've also had our partners give out opportunities to our students. So Atterbury, for example, gave out about 20 placements to our students in the past. They do regularly post listings about their internships, graduate opportunities as well. It's just, we really encourage, this is a good way for students to even interact within the industry, connect with the industry, and it helps them with their future employability as well. When you're actually pitching and presenting to industry partners, that's exactly what you'll be doing at a workplace as well. So we're kind of, at a whole, we do encourage students to be more active and proactive while studying the course as well. So if you have any questions about industry partners, do let us know as well in the chat box. Moving on. Student life and support. We have a dedicated student services team on campus. They're there to help you with any academic learning support, your well-being, counseling, any additional support that you do require. With regards to accommodation, we don't have an in-house accommodation, but we do have student accommodation providers close by. We have Unite Students, we have Scape as well, and our student services team does offer advice on accommodation and finances as well. Like Claire mentioned before, you do get the benefit of an associate membership with King's College London, their student union. They have over 200 clubs and societies, and that again is a fantastic way to network with other students who could be studying engineering or are in different fields as well. It's just very encouraging to be around and interacting with other members of the organization that we're associated with as well. Our students have started a social club, which is very exciting. They host various events. I think they hosted a Halloween party this year. They did host a welcome week freshers party as well. End of term parties. It's a good way for you to connect with your fellow peers, see what other students are up to with their projects, be it individual, group projects as well, and just discuss ideas and cultivate creativity. And like Claire mentioned earlier, we do have loads of scholarships and bursaries, and we do encourage you to go on our website and check them out as well. So that does conclude our presentation for today. I would really encourage everyone to scan the QR code just to keep in touch with us about the events and programs that we have. We do have an online taster program, Thinking Ahead. It is going to conclude this week. The dates for next year are not yet finalized, so that should be upcoming as well. We have an open day coming up in January. It's on the 13th of January. And for those of you who are in and around London, we would really encourage you to come on campus. We have exciting activities planned for you as well. You can meet our academics, you can meet our students, you can see the projects that they've been up to as well this past year. It's just a good way for you to get a feel of what it is like being at TEDI-London. I'm going to let that be for just about 30 seconds, 1 minute, if anyone wants to scan that, and do keep in touch with us. That way we can give you more information about the events that are coming up. We do host campus tours as well. So again, happy for any one of you to drop in during those scheduled timings and visit us, and we'll be more than happy to show you around as well. Great. Okay, I'm gonna moving forward. We have reached our question and answer round.
Shall we kick off into the Q&A then?
Yes.
Let's go. So we've got a few to go through here.
Okay.
We'll kick it off with Sai. Sai says, hi, hello Sai. How do students need to prepare part-time jobs to live in London, as it's very expensive, and will this affect students? As in, do students need a part-time job to live in London, really?
I can take it from a staff member's point of view, but Ted might want to chip in on this as well. London is expensive. There's no getting around that. There are cheaper ways you can do things. There are affordable accommodation options, and your course is structured so that you do have some spare time. So you'd be in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, in makerspaces, doing projects for 4 hours on each of those days. So you do consistently have your evenings free and your weekends free. So if you needed to balance a job, you could. I wouldn't encourage anything more than a short part-time job, maybe 10 to 16 hours. But people do, and people are happy doing that. And it's good money. It's a way to meet extra people and get involved in the community. So I'd say it's a good thing. Personally.
Yeah. We'll go on to the next one. Haley says, how many students per intake do you take on, and how competitive is the selection process?
So probably another one for me, sorry. So we have we've just started out, so we now have 3 cohorts of students. Our third years joined mid-COVID, so we only had around 25 students in the first cohort, and it's grown since then. So the next cohort was almost double, and the latest cohort was around 55 students. So we're growing essentially. If you have the 3 A's, the aptitude, the ability, and the attitude, we want you. So it's not competitive in the sense of you're competing against lots of other students for places. It's what you can bring with your application, and if you're a good fit for TEDI-London rather than competition per se as well.
Great. Charlotte says, do you have any good links to engineering employers for after she graduates?
Yes. Ted, do you want to chip in about Engineers Without Borders and what contact you had with them?
Well, with them, it wasn't so much contact, it's more they sort of set a challenge for us to complete. So we weren't working with the sort of the company directly, it's more just a challenge that was set by them. So I don't know if that doesn't exactly answer the question.
Yeah, so with the projects, you get to meet people and solve real problems that they have set. With some of the modules, you do get to meet them. They will come in and they will do presentations, and they'll work with you on kind of pitching ideas, things like that. So the industry partners that we mentioned, people like Utterbury, Arup, British Land, all of those people, they will get to meet you during your studies. And if you use your networking skills that you will gain at TEDI-London, you will start picking up things like internships. As Anaksha said, there were 20 internships for Utterbury. So that's the kind of connection you will get. There's no guarantee that you're going to go into a job or anything like that with those particular partners, but they are there. They are sniffing around. They're seeing what your skills are. They're there in person. They're there setting the challenges. It's real life stuff, basically.
Mm-hmm. Just adding.
I could add. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You can go ahead.
We do have an employability week as well, where there is a networking lunch as well, and you will gain skills as well during those employability during that whole week. It's just what basically Claire has already mentioned. It's a good way for you to get started and just build on those connections, especially if those industry partners are constantly in touch with us, with TEDI-London, and like Claire said, they are sniffing around and they do provide us with opportunities as well, with the students with opportunities, and it's a good way for you to kind of build on those connections. Yeah, Z, sorry, it's all yours.
Yeah, so about the Engineering Without Borders, there was, because it's like sort of like a competition that's ongoing each year. I think, my design with my group, with another group that was also successful, actually managed to got through the competition to the top 36 that was around. And we got the chance to go all the way to Glasgow to present our ideas there. And didn't get first or second, but we got close. We were up there. And so, that is one of the opportunities you get. Obviously, because it's a very event-based sort of competition, you can also talk with the other people that may be there. I got the chance to talk with some of the sort of refugee head that was dealing with the refugees that are living in Glasgow. And it was a fun session talking with him and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, how does that feel from your perspective? Obviously, you've come and you've made this thing like the glasses you've made. How does that feel that you've actually made something of your time and you've got something to prove?
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the plus points of having project-based learning here in TEDI, because compared to a lot of my friends, which all of them are currently going through just lectures upon seminars, I actually can learn what I learned and actually applying to actually making something. One of the few plus points is the fact that we also can make our own personal items, obviously to an extent where we don't use £1,000, but we can sort of use the makerspaces to our liking to 3D print, laser cut, maybe use the lathe, CNC something to make like a small product for ourselves. And it's one of the plus points to be able to do our own personal projects alongside with the projects that were given as part of the modules, as part of the learning process and stuff.
Great. Amazing. Lincoln says, are there any specific subjects you would need to have done at A level?
So again, we don't have that sort of like math and physics requirement, like we mentioned before. We do encourage students from all backgrounds to apply. Having said that, the 3 A's are very important to us. So aptitude, ability, and attitude. We will look at your personal statements, but if you have not done math, we would require you to complete the refresher course and pass it. Again, it's pretty straightforward. And if you have any questions about that, or you want to get in touch with our admissions team about that, I would encourage you to contact us and we'll be happy to put you through to them.
Great.
I can also add that within my cohort, granted, I took maths, physics, chemistry, and design and tech, which is quite typical for a engineering subject. There are many students in my cohort, in my peers, that took weirdly different subjects. One of them took, I think, art. One of the other one took completely historian type subjects, but decided to do engineering last minute and still here and actually did a good job in the research showcase that we had. So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of people that came from different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. Great, that's good. On to Amy says, which is the most in-demand role within engineering, please?
That's a really tricky one. I think probably the students might have an opinion on this, but I will just say that thinking about engineering, some of the jobs haven't even been created yet for the people who would be graduating from the cohorts that are starting now. So it might be all change if technology advances as quickly as it has been over the last couple of decades. But I don't know if Ted or Z, do you have any opinions on that?
Because it's so wide range, you can get into so many different disciplines. So you have mechanical, electrical, robotics, materials, civil engineering, and those are like the baseline ones. And then you can go into like project management, design management, software, programming, computer science, but that's a stretch. And maybe even web design, because I remember one of the third years told me there was a bit where we can make a little website for our projects. And so, yeah, there's different branches you can go into. With the skills you actually learn, you don't even need to go into engineering sectors. I have a friend that did engineering, but ended up working for the bank. It's just because the skills you learn from engineering, from just doing a bunch of projects, you can apply it to any sort of environment, any sort of jobs. And I'm personally going down the route of mechatronics, but I know not many people like mechatronics. They might go into product design, like artsy kind of design, or they can go into, like I said, banks, product management, stuff like that.
Very good. Very nice.
Just to add on to that very quickly, there is a shortage of engineers pretty much globally, which is where travel also comes into play. I think pretty much every country that you can't ever have enough engineers, because at the end of the day, you're making things, and we do need people to make things to live in a more futuristic society. So, yeah.
Great. Do you accept, Ben says, do you accept mature students onto the course looking to retrain?
Yes, we do. We actively encourage. We have a scholarship specifically for those wanting to retrain or upskill. and that is kind of significant dent on your fees, essentially. So it would be in the form of a fee waiver. We really, really want people from lots of different perspectives. So we've mentioned a lot about the different subjects that people have studied previously, but we want people from industry. We want mature students who have maybe done something completely different. We had a student who was actually in shipbuilding. They came. We had an artist, we had a fashion student at one point. These were all mature students. And they just bring a very, very different perspective and a world view that really helps the course along. So yes, we love mature students and we actively encourage. So, yes.
Great. What about a date for applications? Do you have a date that we can have put in the chat just so everyone's aware?
For applications, you can either apply in the normal UCAS cycle. So that would be, you need to get your applications in by the UCAS deadline at the end of January. Otherwise, you can apply directly to us through our website. So that would just involve going on the website and filling in all of the same information you would as UCAS, but it just means that you are not part of that deadline. So you can do that virtually whenever you want, up until a couple of weeks before the course starts in September or January. Yeah.
Very good. Does anyone want to put a wee link in just so people in the webinar can just access it quickly?
I will. Yeah. Anaksha, do you mind doing that, please?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Amazing, thank you.
We'll just go to the next one while that's going on. Jasmine, that's a big question here. Jasmine says, what does the perfect application look like, please? Well, it's pretty wide, isn't it?
Yeah. I can say from an admissions perspective, and then I think it would be nice to hear from the students what they put in. So I used to actually work on the admissions team, so I've seen a lot of applications, a lot of them. So we want to see passion, enthusiasm, get across your kind of problem solving skills, get across what you want to get out of the course. We don't want perfectly polished personal statements where
or your life story.
Yeah. We want to learn more about you and what your goals are. It's not about having the AAA stars, all of the distinction stars. It's about you and what you are setting out to do as an engineer, and make an impact on the world, basically. So everything about you, basically. I think Ted and Z both came through UCAS, is that right?
Yeah.
What did you find important about your personal statement? Most important thing to get across?
Well, so I mean, my sort of main point in my personal statement was that I'm a sort of a problem solver and a logical thinker, and that applies to engineering quite a lot, and especially at TEDI-London, where it's sort of hands-on problem solving. And so that's what I tried to put into my personal statement, and I think it works with TEDI, where TEDI-London's a problem solving uni.
I went through my sort of A-level DT kind of processes of what I design something, problem solve something. I kind of like expressed that within my personal statement. And so, I just went through stuff that I'm interested in, a lot for myself, trying to show off what I want to be doing in the uni, or showing my interest in just in general. And that's about it. And I guess just be confident in what you write and what you say when you have an interview, if you have an interview, and you should do fine.
Great. Amazing. Well, Heath just said there to the students, what are your plans once you finish the course? I think that'll be a good one, just as we're still on you guys.
Well, for me, I'm keeping my options open at the moment, so I've still got another sort of 4 years to decide. I'm thinking somewhere sort of mechanical or civil engineering, maybe automotive, but my options are open, and I can kind of take any sort of route I want. And so all the while that I don't need to make a decision, I'm going to keep my options open and see what happens and see where I end up.
Good man, Ted.
Yeah, same with me. I'm, as I mentioned, more towards the sort of mechanical electronic side of things, but I'm not locking myself into that because I do plan to potentially start a startup. That is a dream of mine to do. Obviously, having your own business and everything rather than working under someone. But like I said, I'm not locking myself into one yet. Hoping that if I go to Arizona or UNSW my third year, I can probably get more links in that uni, as well as just trying to. That was weird. Getting a bunch of different, sort of links, companies, probably some higher up people, so I can get some communication with, and potentially, get internships and get a job from there.
Well, you've got it planned out. That's a lot of networking. I hope you're ready for all that. Good man.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah. Were you about to say something before I asked that question, Anusa? No. Okay. Right. Well, it seems like obviously in your applications, you already knew what you were get yourself into. Even Ted says it there, just reading your little message you put in the chat for everyone. And obviously, you wanted to take more of a practical approach. Was that really what drew both of you in to this role? Yeah,
I'd say it was. As I mentioned, I like hands-on working with things, and that's what TEDi provided, and that's why I like the university.
Great stuff.
Yeah, definitely the fact that everything is hands-on appeals to me more, because if you're given a sort of course that's regarding around designing and engineering something, it would be useless if you just study it but not being able to actually apply it into something. And so being able to actually apply it into something is the best it can be.
Yeah. I don't know if it would just be me, but the idea of something that's hands-on, especially in engineering, surely that is quite daunting to start off with. How was the feel of the cohort, I guess, of how you compared now in the placement compared to how you did when you were starting? How has that changed? I'm gonna take that.
What do you mean? Do you mean like
Just mean like
from,
how
like right
you
now
changed
and how it has changed
start to now?
Right. To be honest, it's probably because my experiences in GCSE and A-level DT, being hands-on is already something that I've been doing for quite a long time. However, there was restrictions, and I believe there's restrictions in other unis as well, where you can only go in this set of hours, only do this set of things, and do not touch everything else. Whereas here, I can walk in on a Wednesday morning when literally nobody's here except the staff, and I can just go on the 3D printer, print something, go on the laser cutter, can I cut something? Yeah, sure, cut it, and just use it for either myself or for my own projects.
Great. Good stuff. Ted?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I'm still sort of relatively new to the university, but I found that I've settled in well. I'm getting used to the university, the campus, the environment. So everybody's very helpful, and I'm enjoying it. Finding my way sort of through the makerspaces, utilising all the equipment, and just generally enjoying it.
And what's it like for the support system from the staff? Obviously, you were saying there, Z, if you could just go on and do whatever you want, really, obviously within reason. But how does that feel that you have that free reign to sort of create what you want and build your own brand?
Yeah, so that's one of the things, actually, support from the staff. So unlike most universities where professors are so busy they can't accommodate for you individually, the academics here actually have, because the cohort is so big, they actually have the option, have the chance to be able to support you close to one by one. Obviously, they can't focus all their attention to you, but they can actually physically stand next to you, help you with whatever you need. Obviously, you have to ask, but that's the other thing as well. Unlike just having a professor-student relationship, we sort of have a relationship where we are like professionals, where they are experts at it. We are probably like trying to get into it, but they can physically show us either how does this material work with this material, how does this mechanic work, how do I wire up my electronics so that it actually works. And so being able to, I guess, have a closer relationship with the professors rather than being in a massive lecture hall where I can only contact the lecturer probably once the entire term, whereas here I can just contact anytime, anywhere, obviously within hours.
Yeah, great. Ted, how did you, obviously you said you just started, obviously you're still in first year, how have you been finding that support? Has that been making it a bit more laying off the ease on you?
Yeah, well, I mean, similar to Z, yes, you do get a lot of support from the academics. They get to know you, you get to know them, and yeah, there's that support there that's different to any other uni, because I guess in another uni you wouldn't have that connection where you'd be able to talk to the academics and have them help you and have them support you. So great. I found that
sounds very professional. I wish I went to this uni. Sounds great. Now I want to ask you guys for just some words of advice while I think of more questions. So we'll just start off with Z. Do you want to go first on just advice you would give to people who want to apply to this uni?
Yeah, work on your personal statement. Try to make it as professional as you can. Don't ponder it about too much that you fail your A-levels, like I almost did. To be honest, it's the fact that you put your confidence in your sort of mindset into your personal statements, your interviews, if you have interviews. And as long as you be confident in what you're doing, you should do fine in applying to any uni, including this uni. And yeah, that's about it, really.
Great. I'll see you next.
From a point of view of someone who worked on the admissions team, I just want to say that anyone who wants to study engineering should study engineering. There shouldn't be any barrier of your kind of previous qualifications, your academic background. If you've got a problem-solving mind and have that inquisitiveness, you should just go and do it. We will help you with the rest. Basically, that's what the teachers are there for. You don't have to be the finished article. If you've got the passion and the attitude and the ability, we're there to turn you into an engineer, essentially. So.
Very good. Very nice.
I guess that's one of the other things as well. If you're very passionate about making stuff, just in general, this is a good uni to go to, because not many unis allow you to access the makerspace that easily. And whereas this one, you can just walk in and just make stuff. You can even show it to the to academics, and they'll give you tips, or they'll applaud you or whatever. But yeah, if you like making stuff, come over.
There you go.
I think it's just, at the end of the day, we're trying to do something different here. And I do strongly believe like this is the future of learning. There's only so much theoretical knowledge that you can get in and put it into actual practical stuff when you do get into the workplace. So we, like Claire has mentioned before, we like to think of our students as professionals in training, because they are. You're learning all the things that you would learn when getting into the workplace as well. Teamwork, collaboration, presentation skills, pitching to businesses. It's a good way for you to get a head start on that. So definitely, that's something that I'd like to add.
Very good, very nice. Ted?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I guess just to echo what everybody else has said, really, that we are professionals in training and we are learning as individuals, and I think there should be a lot of opportunities to come with TEDi, I think.
Yeah, if anything, that's increasing, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah, because it is a new way of working and a new way of learning. I think hopefully this is going to become more popular, this sort of way of teaching, this way of learning. So hopefully TEDI-London could be a pioneer in that new way.
Great. There's some great sound bites TEDI-London will have to pull out of here. From Z's, you want to make it join to Ted's, what Ted just said. Of course, we are about to wrap up. Thank you very much to everyone from TEDI-London for a very inspirational and informative webinar. I really wish I went, to be honest, because I'm obviously very hands-on as well. But thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Remember, everyone here in the webinar, if you do miss anything, don't worry. It is on our website and our YouTube in the coming days. So don't worry about that. Remember, this link is in the chat box. You want to apply, go ahead while you still can. Of course, you've got loads of time. It's always great to do it sooner rather than later. Thank you to the guys from TEDI-London, of course, and the representatives and the people who are studying there. I hope you go on to do some great things and build me a nice pair of sunglasses, would you? Thank you very much.
Why not? I have it here. I can make another one.
Oh, yes,
all
please,
the files
please
ready. Yeah, sure.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you all have a good evening. Thank you, everyone who joined the webinar, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hello and welcome. Hope everyone is having a good afternoon.